Now, the rest of the story. With the Los Angeles Olympics, 1932, only weeks away, the sports world turned its attention to Evanston, Illinois. And there at Northwestern University, a track meet was about to be held, a track meet with two purposes. First, to decide the 1932 AAU National Women's Championship, and second, to serve as a tryout for the upcoming Olympics. That is, the winners of the Northwestern would compete in Los Angeles. Dozens of teams converged from all over the country. The Illinois women's athletic team was favored to sweep the events. There was also a team from Dallas, Texas. The meet was comprised of 10 separate contests. The Dallas team was entered in 8 of those contests. First event was the discus. No one on the Dallas team was particularly good at it, but the Dallas discus thrower surprised herself and everyone else by taking 4th place and picking up 1 point. Next was the shot put. Again, nobody competing for Dallas was considered formidable. However, the Dallas shot putter shocked the spectators with a heave of 39 feet, 6.5 inches, and won the event. Other competitors began scratching their heads. And next, the baseball throw. The Dallas pitcher was the same girl who had won the event the year before, and the year before that. This year would be no different. She hurled the baseball 272 feet and 2 inches to win. Dallas finally fell down in the 100-yard dash, ran but failed to qualify for the final. But just as it appeared that Dallas's fortune had turned, the team's javelin thrower stepped up and launched that javelin 139 feet and 3 inches, almost 6 feet better than the world record. And Dallas had only begun. The team that won the next event as well, the 80-meter hurdles. In fact, in the qualifying heat, another world record was set by the Dallas runner. And then the high jump, another win for Dallas, another world record. And then the broad jump and another Dallas victory. By day's end, the crowd was absolutely stunned. The highly favored Illinois team, 22 of the finest female athletes in the nation, had come in second. Dallas was number 1. The underdog Texas team had placed in 7 of the 8 events it entered, had amassed a total of 30 points, 8 more than Illinois, had set 4 world records, and had won the meet, all in only 2.5 hours. 2 weeks later, the Dallas team would make a similarly dramatic showing in the Los Angeles Olympics. But let the record books also show that Dallas, the team sponsored by the Employers Casualty Insurance Company of Dallas, Texas, that team triumphed because of a superb 20-year-old Texas athlete named Mildred Didrikson. Babe Didrikson was on that team. Babe Didrikson was the only person on that team. Babe Didrikson at Northwestern University in July of 1932 vanquished the most talented female track stars in the country, entire teams full of them, all by herself. And now you know the rest of the story.
And now the rest of the story. Babe, Wonder Girl, Texas tomboy, greatest athlete of all time. When people mention this athlete, these are just some of the things you'll hear. Mildred Ella Didrikson was born in 1911 in Port Arthur, Texas. According to numerous sources, neighbors began noticing her athleticism in 1915 when she was just 4 years old. From an early age, everyone called her Babe. According to her friends, she was nicknamed Babe after Babe Ruth because she had hit so many home runs at baseball. Now this was when she was, 4 or 5 years old. Babe was interested in sports, but not school. She failed the 8th grade and eventually dropped out of high school. In 1930, while working a full-time job at the Employers Casualty Insurance Company of Dallas, 19-year-old Babe joined the AAU, that's the Amateur Athletic Union, to continue playing sports. That was the reason she took the job. In January 1931, the Dallas Golden Cyclones, sponsored by the employer's casualty insurance company, took on the Thurston Garment Company girls in an amateur athletic union basketball game. Thurston was expected to win, but the Wichita Beacon called it a cyclone attack. The Golden Cyclones won 27-14. The newspaper said Babe Didrikson was the chief offender in a scoring way. She sank baskets from every conceivable position in her division of the court. Babe was a fierce competitor. She excelled in every sport she tried, including basketball, track, golf, baseball, tennis, swimming, diving, boxing, volleyball, handball, bowling, billiards, skating, and cycling. She was also an accomplished seamstress. She made a lot of her own clothes. In 1931, she won the sewing championship at the Texas State Fair in Dallas. From 1930 through 1932, Didrikson was a member of the women's All-American basketball team. During the same period, she also won 8 events and tied in a 9th in a national championship competition in track and field. In the 1932 Women's Amateur Athletic Association, Babe competed as a team by herself, just as Mr. Harvey explained, and she won 6 individual events and the team title by outscoring the 20 women runner-up team from the Illinois Athletic Club, 30 points to 22. This has been declared the greatest single achievement in a series of events in the history of athletics. Wow. She became known for her competitiveness and brash confidence at a time when women were not encouraged to compete in sports at this magnitude. People made sexist remarks and hurtful claims against her, but Babe was not deterred in the slightest. A few years earlier, after reading about the 1928 Olympics, she vowed she would one day compete in Olympic track and field. She trained daily with her sister, jumping hedges in the neighborhood. During the qualifying trials, she made the cut in 5 events, but women were only allowed to participate in 3. At the 1932 Olympics in Los Angeles, 21-year-old Babe earned a gold medal for the javelin throw when she set a new world record at 143 feet. The next day, she set another new world record of 11.7 seconds in the 80-meter hurdle, won another gold medal. She broke her own world record to get that medal. After a much-debated tie for first in the high jump, the judges disqualified the technique she used and gave her the silver medal. Babe is the only track and field athlete, male or female, to win individual Olympic medals in separate running, throwing, and jumping events. Despite all of the records and dominant performances across many different sports, Babe is best known for her achievements in golf. She began playing golf casually in 1932, but from 1934, she played that game exclusively. In 1938, Babe met professional wrestler Theodore Vitoyanis, who performed under the name George the Harriest at a charity golf event. The event's promoter put Babe, George, and a minister on the same team just as a gag. Later that year, Babe and George married. George gave up his career in order to manage Babe's career, and oh, what a career it was! She became America's first female golf celebrity and the leading player of the 1940s and early 1950s. Babe won 82 golf tournaments throughout her career, including 17 straight golf championships in 1947, a feat that has never been matched. In 1948, Babe took home the title for the U.S. Women's Open, a feat she repeated 2 years later. In that same year, 1948, Babe became the first female to attempt to qualify for the U.S. Open. But her application was rejected by the United States Golf Association because they said the event was open only to men. There were limited options for female golfers in the 1940s, so Babe joined with golfer Patty Berg to co-found the Ladies Professional Golf Association, LPGA, in 1949. Babe was the top competitor of the LPGA before she became president of the LPGA, a role she held for the rest of her life. Charles McGrath of the New York Times wrote of Babe, "Except perhaps for Arnold Palmer, no golfer has ever been more beloved by the gallery." In 1953, while president of the LPGA, Babe did something unexpected. She recorded some country and western songs for Mercury Records, including "I Felt a Little Teardrop," on which she sang and played harmonica. The B-side to this record was the instrumental song called "Detour," on which Babe played harmonica. They're fascinating to listen to. I'll leave links to these two songs in the description below. Was there anything she couldn't do? Well, it turned out that 1953 was the beginning of the end for Babe. She was diagnosed with colon cancer. After undergoing surgery the following year, she made a comeback. She won 2 more championships within a month of her surgery and while wearing a colostomy bag. The cancer returned in 1955, but she still played in 8 golf events. She won the last 2 golf games she ever played. 45-year-old Mildred Ella Babe Didrikson Zaharias died from cancer on September 27, 1956. Babe earned many accolades in her sports career. She was voted the world's greatest woman athlete of the first half of the 20th century by the Associated Press, and the only athlete to be named Woman Athlete of the Year by the Associated Press 6 times. In 1981, the U.S. Postal Service issued an 18-cent stamp in honor of Babe. In 2019, she was posthumously awarded the 3rd AAU Gussie Crawford Lifetime Achievement Award, which is presented to trailblazers in amateur sports. In 2021, Babe was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was named the 10th greatest North American athlete of the 20th century by ESPN and was the highest-ranking woman on that list. Babe opened the door for many female athletes. Her dominance in sports opened the eyes of millions of people who thought women were inferior. She continues to inspire athletes around the world. So if you happen to be passing through Beaumont, Texas, take the time to visit the Babe Didrikson Zaharias Museum. If you're a golfer, you can play at one of several courses named in her honor. The woman who single-handedly beat a team of 20 women. Amazing. I'm Brad Dison. Thanks for watching. And now you know the rest of the story.